Okay. Well, welcome everyone to today's live Q&A sessions with Nahal. Today's session is also going to be another info session on the Single Breath program. And I'm going to begin our membership portal series like the way we usually do with a centering practice. So if everyone can get centered, feet flat on the ground, hands on your knees, and just begin to focus on your breath. Focusing on your heart region. Bring your attention to your heart. Keep focusing on your heart. And just do a quick scan on your body from the crown of your head all the way to the tips of your toes. Starting from the head, scanning down the forehead, eyes, ears, nose, mouth, chin, neck, shoulders, arms, forearms, wrists, fingertips, chest, stomach, hips, thighs, knees, calves, ankles, and feet. And toes.生命之子啊，爱我使我能爱你。如果你不爱我，我的爱便无法达到你。懂得把握的不忍，生命之子啊， 我的爱便无法达到你，懂得把握的人，懂得把握的仆人。Keeping your eyes closed and focus still on your heart. And whenever you're ready, just bring in the palm of your hands in front of your chest and begin rubbing them very quickly to generate some heat, keeping your eyes closed. And then whenever you generated some heat, cupping your eyes, and then the palm of your hands, blink open your eyes. And looking left and right, blink open your eyes. And then open your fingers a little bit. And look left and right. And whenever you're ready, dropping your hands down. Hi, guys. Okay. So today's session, like last time's session, is also going to be, the replay is also going to be on YouTube. So if you don't want your camera to show, then you can keep it off. So today I wanted to go deeper into how the program is going to incorporate the 7 valleys and the yogic chakra systems. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Hi, Cora, welcome. So you can so we're going to put the replay of this on YouTube. So if you don't want your video to be shown, just don't turn it on, but you're welcome to speak if you like or ask any questions. So I'm going to just quickly go over what we went over last time about the reflections. Actually, I'm going to stop this for a second. Not this. And share. One second. Maybe keep your Zoom muted for now. Be great. Let's see where this is. Okay. All right. So last time we talked about how the breath program is going to incorporate reflection practices. So I just want to show you guys, this seems like really complicated, okay? So don't get scared. But essentially week 1, imagine this like an empty thing. This is like a sheet here, okay? So week 1, you're going to do the morning reflection practice here. You're going to write down if you wrote it handwritten or you digitally wrote it. And then from and to, so meaning like what time to what time. And then after you reflected, just note down like how you felt after doing it. I actually, just before starting this, I was like, maybe I should put it like how you feel beforehand, just so you can see how the reflection practices like make you feel. Just the same way I ask you to measure yourself before and after the breath practices, I was thinking that maybe we should add also a before. And so the evening practices here, So the evening practices here, the reflection, you can also write if it's handwritten or digitally there, from what time to what time, and then noting how you feel. So for example, for week 1, if we were to actually fill this out, so we wrote down, okay, on Monday, I hand wrote the reflection practices. I started at 8 a.m. I ended at 8:20. So the reflection practices I wanted you to do was 20 minutes long. And then note how you felt after you wrote it. So like I just wrote down some random things like planned well, or I felt angry even after I wrote the reflections. You felt empty. You wrote down a bunch of tasks. You felt exhausted, realized that you had tiredness. You felt light. Like it may be various different feelings depending on the day of how you will feel. So for the evening, it might also be something like you might feel like more like to do a handwritten one because you don't want the light of the digital device to like affect your eyes right before you go to sleep. You don't want like something flashing your eyes. I always encourage that like an hour before you go to sleep that you don't look at digital things with lights on it. And then you also write down like what time to what time you did this reflection. And then you also just jot down like how you feel. So as a sample, this was what it would look like after filling out 1 week's of reflection practice. It's like this. But essentially here, this is like how it would be empty formed. You can fill this out digitally, or I could also give you a printout of this and you could fill it out by hand if you like that better. And by the end of the week, you just send me either the digital form or a picture of the soft copy that you did. So each week, this is going to be week 2, it's week 3, and all of the rest. So now I'm going to show you, we're going to go into the 7 valleys aspect of the different topics that we're going to talk about there. So this might also seem complex as well, but it's very simple, actually. This is how I'm going to break it down. So on week 3 of the single breath program, which is 12 weeks long, the 3rd week, we're going to start on the valley of search. The 4th, valley of love. 5th week, valley of knowledge. Week 6, valley of unity. Week 7, valley of contentment. Week 8, valley of wonderment. Week 9, valley of true poverty and utter nothingness. So these are like the 7 weeks, and they are on lesson 3, week 3 to week 9 of the single breath program. So we have 2 weeks beforehand just to get prepped with different things. And then the other following weeks, 10, 11, 12, are more like summary weeks, just to consolidate all the things that we learned. So this is in a week form. Each week, we're going to focus on only one valley. Okay, only one valley per week. One valley per week. Which means that in this week, you will be reading just one valley 7 times in a week. So on the Monday, you'll read the valley of search, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Each day, you read only the valley of search. The 2nd week, you read the valley of love. Valley of love on Monday, valley of love on Tuesday, valley of love on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So one valley per week. So we're really going deep on each of the valleys per week. And this is what it's going to look like. And here are the yogic chakra themes. So each week, I'm going to include the 7 valleys, but each day also has an additional theme of the yogic chakra themes. And yogic chakras also have 7 as well. And so they're kind of going to be mixed together in a sense. So the single breath program, yogic chakra theme reflections, just to share what the yogic chakra systems are for those who don't know, the yogic chakra systems are like 7 energy points along the spine, starting from the root, base the base of your spine. And then between your belly button and your sit bones, that's the second sacral chakra. Then the third is your solar plexus, like right at your stomach. And the heart chakra you have up here, throat chakra, third eye chakra, and then the crown chakra, which is up here. So these are all of the chakras, and each of the chakras have their own colors and have their own elements. This is not necessary for you to know and memorize, but the purpose, and I mean, the chakra system, you can get really deep into this. There's various other things that you could go into of the depth, but we're really just doing, the most important is the location, where along the spine this energy center is going to be along your body. And the second is the themes that they're related to. The themes that they're related to are going to be the things that you're going to reflect on. Okay. So let's say, for instance, so this is going to be essentially Monday. Root chakra 1 is going to be on a Monday. Root chakra 2 is going to be on a Tuesday. Root chakra 3 is going to be on a Wednesday. Heart chakra is going to be on a Thursday. Throat chakra is going to be on a Friday. And third eye chakra is going to be on a Saturday. And then crown chakra is on a Sunday. So each day, you're going to be reflecting only on one theme. Okay, one theme here. So like relationship with God. So the only thing you need to reflect on is relationship with God. So now all of these themes are going to be the themes that the pockets of life that we're going to talk about in the single breath program. But each theme is only going to be measured along one valley. So all of these themes, we're going to talk about it through the valley of search, which is the first valley. So the valley of search, we're going to go through it every single day, measuring it along these themes of family, money, survival, creativity, joy, sex, personal power, universal love, personal expression, discernment, relationship with God. These are all the aspects of life that create usually the most trouble for you. And so these are areas in which we're going to reflect on to maximize your productivity and your expression and just like refine your soul's kind of path in that sense. So if that was a little too complex, also, just so you know, you do not need to understand what is in the background of this. All you need to do is actually just answer the question. However, for those who are interested of how the structure is going to be and how you're actually going to reflect on the themes of the 7 valleys and the yogic chakras, here I'm breaking it down for you. But if you don't remember anything that I say in this session, it's absolutely fine, because how you're going to be guided in the single breath program is just going to be through a question. So it's going to be the thing that I'm going to talk about now. All of this stuff beforehand, you don't need to know. You just need to know that, all right, this week, our theme is on the Valley of Search, and that we're going to write reflection questions on each of the areas according to the yogic chakra system to kind of like be very thorough in each valley to make sure that all of those themes are covered. Okay, so for example, actually, I'm just going to go down here for a second. So in each of the valleys, there are a couple themes that I've just broken it down to. Okay, so right now, let's just make this really large so we can see it. So the Valley of Search is the first week. So for example, let's just take the first week as an example. There are about 6 different themes that the Valley of Search talks about. It talks about patience. It talks about reliance on God. It talks about the purity of heart, freedom from imitation, focused attention, the importance of having focused attention, and the importance of labor and ardor. Okay, so you have about 6 themes of the valley of search. And so this is the valley of search. This is the first valley in the 7 valleys, and the first yogic chakra, root chakra. The theme is family, money, and survival. So you have 3 themes here and 6 themes of the 7 valleys, meaning that you could have a combination of like about 18 different topics going with the one family and the patience within family. How do you practice patience within money? How do you practice patience with survival? Okay, so just to kind of put it all together, these are the yogic chakra themes: family, money, survival. And these on this column is going to be all of the valley of search themes. So patience, reliance on God, purity of heart, freedom from imitation, focused attention, labor, and ardor. Okay, so the combination of these, you have about 18 different questions. Now, are you going to reflect on the 18? No. What you're going to do, so this basically, each reflection question goes on 2 themes. It's on the 7th valley theme of patience and family. So the question could be, where can you practice more patience with your family? Okay. And then with patience and money, how can you practice patience in dealing with money? Like your purchasing habits, like how can you practice more patience, the quality, the virtue of the 7 valleys, of the valley of search in particular, and how can you use it with money? And then survival. So how might you practice patience in matters of survival, such as hunger, going to the bathroom, or like cleanliness? So this is like one combination of reflection questions. Now, this is when it's in a table format. So now let's just extend it into questions. So the way I'm going to give it to you is actually in this way. So I'm going to give you the themes based off of the yogic chakra themes. So all of these are the valley of search. Okay, all of these themes, because it's patience, reliance on God, freedom from imitation, all of those 6 themes that we looked down there. So the valley of search is going to be split into 3 of the topics of the yogic chakra themes. Family, so there's 6 combinations that we can come up with here, 6 questions. 6 questions from money and 6 questions from survival. Okay, you're going to read this list. Let's just see if we can put all this in one page. Okay. So here, you're going to scan this list of questions. You're only going to choose 2 in a day. 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, or 1 at night to reflect on. But you have the list so that after the program finishes, you can continue doing the reflection practices if you like on all of the themes if you want. But the point is, in this moment, so in the morning when you wake up, when I've sent you this list, you only pick 1 for the morning. So you're going to read this list, scan it, and be like, what is the thing that resonates with me the most? Of these 18 questions, which question resonates with me the most? So let's say, for instance, right now I'm having a lot of money problems. So how can I practice patience in dealing with money? This question is really resonating with me right now. I need to talk about this. Or I need to reflect more on this one question. So you're going to spend 20 minutes reflecting on just one question. So but let's say, for instance, I'm having issues with my family right now. My family is really pissing me off, and I just need to I need to dig deeper and get more insights into how I can deal with my family because they're really agitating me. The question that you might need to reflect on is like, how do you call on a higher power? How do you rely on God when it comes to your family? Okay. So, or how can I practice more patience with my family? So these are questions that I want you to think about. Every morning, you'll be receiving an email with these reflection questions, and you only pick 2. One in the morning to reflect on, and one at night. The same email that I sent in the morning to you guys to reflect on these questions, at night you choose from the same list another one at that moment. You can choose before if you want. If you're like, I already know what I want, then you have the question. There's no wrong answer of which you choose. These questions are really just to make sure you're going into every crevice of your life and you're making sure that all the areas of life are kind of covered. And your attention is not lacking on any of the aspects of your life, whether it's the importance of family, whether it's money, whether it's survival, because none of these themes should ever be neglected. So if there's an area where you're like, I really don't do anything in this aspect, that's like really a question that you should be focusing on. So here is what I have so far. Are there any questions? I went through that quite quickly, and I don't know if all of this was helpful in breaking it down, like how the yogic chakra themes and the Valley of Search themes are going to happen throughout the week. All right, Linda's giving me a thumbs up, meaning she understood. At least that's what I think. I did think that's what it means. But if there's any questions, right now is where we is for question time. If you have any questions, if you're like, I didn't really get that, how that's going to work, or if there's any other questions based off of other things, you're welcome to ask away.
So you will have all the questions ready.
Yes.
And then if the time goes on and we continue to practice, then we can put different questions in there that relate, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the thing is that with the theme of patience and family, there's like a number of different reflection questions that could just come from those themes. So one of the reasons why I give you this structure is also you can come up with your own questions related to these things that matter to you. So these are just questions that I'm just getting you started on these kind of themes. But basically, essentially, I'm saying a pocket of life that is family and a pocket of life that you need patience. These two, when you put together, come up with a question that you can answer related to these two themes of patience and family, and how in your life that's applicable, and you can kind of gain some clarity on that. So it's like, it might be family, but like which family members, do you need to practice patience with? Is it all members of your family that you need to practice patience with? Is it your immediate family or your extended family or your in-laws? Like all of these things, like the theme, the virtue is patience. But the pocket of life, the yogic chakras are for its application. So the 7 valleys are the spiritual themes, and the yogic chakras are where you put it in to like kind of, there's a word in Chinese where it's called 接地气. It's like you connect with the energies of the earth, meaning that something so spiritual like patience, you need to actually bring it down to earth. You need to bring it down to earth in a specific pocket of life, like family, to see how patience is applicable. So the spiritual themes of the 7 valleys are going to give us the idea, are going to give us the virtues of where we need to be. But then the yogic chakra themes are going to help us kind of funnel it into different aspects of our life, such as family, such as money, such as survival. And so these are all the aspects. And the reason why these themes are kind of put into place is that these are all actually related to the health of an individual. A lot of times when people are on a spiritual journey, for example, they have the idea that money is dirty. But there's actually like a lot of spiritual implications about it. So we know in terms of in the Baha'i writings, like when we talk about hu'ula, the importance of having excess of wealth so that we can, purify it, So this idea, these are all along a spiritual path. But if you've never actually examined questions of virtues like patience with money and kind of reflected on how do you not practice patience with money? How do you not practice reliance of God on money? How do you not practice purity of heart with money? Like these are aspects in which like they all have applicational implications to your life. So this is kind of like bringing the spiritual into the earth. It's like kind of developing roots to the spiritual thing. So it's not keeping it up here floating in just like thought forms like, oh, it's so great to have patience, or like, oh, it's so great to be reliant on God. No, it's actually being like, all right, how do we apply reliance of God specifically on this theme of money, survival, family? For the example of the root chakra. So hopefully that answered your question, or I don't know if it did.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Are there any other questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Go for it.
This is, and perhaps you covered it already. I came in a little late.
Sure.
But you're calling this the single breath workshop, and I'm wondering, are you actually doing breath work with the chakras?
Yes.
Did I miss that?
Yes. So this is the first info session that I did last week. It was on the structure of the actually, I don't know if anyone has seen, maybe I'll just pull up actually the blog to show the syllabus.
Okay.
Because I think that would be helpful. And this is also the blog intro that I've been sharing with everyone. Let me see where to take. It's probably going to take some time for me to open it. Hopefully I'll be able to share my screen with you with this. But yes, to answer your question in short, yes. Each week, each Monday, I'm teaching you a scientific lecture on the breath practice specifically. And in that, and then the rest of the week, you guys are practicing spiritual themes and yogic chakras themes on applying those things. But actually, we're also on the third week when we get to 7 valleys. When you do the breath practices, I'm actually going to guide your attention while you do the breath practice to a spiritual quality of the valley of search. So for example, I'm going to tell you to practice the notice your breath program, the notice your breath practice, which is the first breath practice that we learn. And the first breath practice, I'm going to ask you, and you're going to practice it 3 times a day for a minute. You're going to measure yourself beforehand and you're going to measure yourself afterwards. But whilst you do that 1-minute breath practice, I'm going to ask you to actually focus on patience. And while you do the breathing practice, notice your breath practice. In that 1 minute, you're just going to be focusing on that one virtue of patience. Then the next, and in a day, you practice it 3 times. So in this day, I can ask you to practice patience, reliance on God, purity of heart. You can reflect on these, or the whole day, I'm just going to ask you to focus on one, patience, so that you go really deep on one theme. So basically every week there's a theme, which is going to be a 7 valleys theme. The whole week is going to be based off of one valley. And then every day in the week, you're going to have a theme. And then each breath that you take, you're also going to have a theme.
Okay.
So
okay. That's,
Yeah.
what I wanted to hear was the breath, how it was going to work together. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So this is a majority of it is actually you practicing the breath practices. But in this lecture, I really wanted to go into talking about how the 7 valleys and the yogic chakra themes are being put together and incorporated into it. Because at least when I was talking about the Pure Breath program before, the old version, we didn't have the 7 valleys and yogic chakra themes. And so when I told people that I'm going to include the 7 valleys themes in there, people just didn't know how it was going to work. So this info session is only on how the 7 valleys and yogic chakra themes are going to work, whereas all the information of the science of the breath, that's in another you can go look at that in another YouTube video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is the first video that we're doing that is just actually about the 7 valleys. All the other ones were all about the scientific aspects of, I'm going to be teaching you about the lungs, the structure of the nose, how you need to be breathing whilst you eat, exercise, sleep, and in each of the weeks, and we only learn about the 7 valleys in week 3. So the 7 valleys comes in a little later once the foundation of breath kind of is set. And you've already had 2 or 3 weeks of breath practice. And then we're slowly going to ask you to introduce virtues or the themes of the 7 valleys within your breath practice so that you can actually, first, we're going to start off slow with just gentle breathing practices. Once your habit is built, then we're going to slowly introduce the themes to put in it because your foundation of breath practices are already stable.
Right. Thank you. That explains it all. Thank you.
Okay, great. Any other questions? This is the info session for it. You can ask anything you want.
I guess for clarification, will we actually, how often will we be meeting with you? Like, do we meet once a week? Because clearly you're going to send the questions and that, but we're going to be doing it on our own. At what point do we potentially meet together?
Okay. So on the Monday at 7 to 8 p.m. Beijing time is when we have our lecture component. So it's like when I'm teaching you guys what to do. Okay. Then you go for the rest of the week and you go do it. And then at the end of the week, we have a check-in session, like a debrief on the Sunday at 7 to 8 p.m. Beijing time as well, where basically you've practiced all the themes, you've practiced all the things, you've done all the breath practices for the rest of the week. And at the end of the week, you come and tell me how you did, what it was like for you, how you found the reflection questions. So the last week of the session, the debrief is really for you to come and for you to tell me how, if you have any questions, that's the place to ask it. Of course, also in the lecture component, if there's any questions that you have from the lecture itself, that's where you ask it. We're going to have like about 10 to 15 minutes towards the end of the session to talk about anything that was related to that session. But on the Sunday, our literal full hour session is a debrief on the breath practices, how it felt in your body, and also the reflection practices, what is coming up for you. Throughout the week, absolutely, you can email me and ask me questions and things like that. And if it's a short answer, I'll be answering you immediately. But if it's a longer one and it's one that I want to spend a little bit more time on, and I think other people would also benefit from it, I'm going to save it till the end of the week and then give everyone like a video response from it. So I may come in the debrief with a whole bunch of questions that you guys have already had, and I just spend that 1 hour just sharing the answers with you of that question. if there's a lot of questions. But if there's no questions, that period of time is spent sharing, telling me how you felt and how you've done it. So I'm not going to cap the time on the debriefs because I just want everyone to feel like they're emptied. Like if there's something you want to share with me and there's something you want to say and you want to clarify, I'm going to give you the time. But just the hour lecture on the Monday, it's like going to be very strict with, I'm just going to try to respect everyone's time that it's going to be in an hour. But the debriefs are usually where we really go into it and just have everyone share like what they're going through, you know, and just making sure that like, if you have concerns about like, I'm having sensations in this part of my body, I'm like, I don't know what this means, that you have a space to share it. And I'm there for you to like talk about it. So, but the rest of the week, I'm available by email. So you can just email me, shoot me any questions anytime. If it's one that I think everyone can benefit from, I'm just going to save it so that I can share it with everyone. Because for the lectures and the debriefs, the replays are going to be made available. However, during the single breath program, you only have 2 chances to miss the lecture. The debriefs are really of your choice, but I'm going to tell you in advance. I know that this is actually going to be more helpful for you, even if you don't have any questions, to come listen to other people's questions, because that's going to be really where you consolidate the information. So you have to show up live for the lectures, and you can only miss 2 in the 12 weeks. And I'm actually hoping that you don't miss any. But this is the absolute must, is only 2 options. But the debriefs are really for your benefit. And if you don't watch them, you can't just not watch all of the debriefs and then suddenly pop up one day and be like, I've never been to a debrief before and I have a bunch of questions. No, it's like you need to have watched all of the previous debriefs to make sure that I've already not like answered that question, because we want to progress in the program and we want to make sure that knowledge is moving forward and I'm not just repeatedly answering the same things. However, if I've answered something and you still didn't understand it, of course, I'm going to repeat it. And there's going to be a lot of repetition during this program to just make sure that everyone is on the same page. But really, the Sunday debriefs are there for us to really kind of like I would describe it as the Mondays are the inhale, where we intake all of the information, and the Sundays are the exhale. It's like the debrief where you guys share with me how you felt during the program, how you felt during the week, how difficult it might have been for you to keep up with the things. So that's going to also be the session where if there's any concerns or it's difficult for you to do the practices or habit-wise, it's not really sticking, that's going to be the session where I'm going to talk more about how to do it if you're having any issues with it. So the Monday lectures are purely just time for me to teach you. There's not really much time and for you to ask questions immediately based off of any of the information that I taught and you didn't understand. But on Sunday, it's like really the time where we gather as a community of the Single Breath program to really talk about it. And honestly, I know this is going to be everyone's favorite time, because not only are they going to have an opportunity to share themselves what they went through, but also hear what other people's experiences were. And I think it's invaluable, invaluable when you have other people who are going along this journey with you to do it. So this is also the other thing that I have not mentioned anywhere, but it's something that once people get into the Single Breath program that you will be debriefed extensively on. And that is, you're going to have a buddy system. You're going to be paired with one other person randomly, hopefully with someone in your time zone, that together you will kind of text each other throughout the week to be like, hey, how's your breath practice going? How are you doing? Oh my God. So you have this sort of accompaniment on an individual level. And this is somewhere where if two people are practicing together, you guys can share with each other different tools and things that helped each other. And both of you as a buddy system can come on the Sunday and share what's happening, what you guys have found. And you're like, oh, we did this throughout the week and we found it really helpful. Like we think anyone else who's in a buddy system that maybe that would help them as well. So that there's a level of accompaniment that from me, just teaching the program, that even with your peers, you're going to have like a buddy system where together you are holding hands going along this journey too. But I'm here for you. I'm here for you throughout the whole thing. Like this. Stop. Yes, you have a question. You're muted.
If somebody missed the Sunday and Monday meeting, is there any other place they can watch it?
Yes, the replay is going to be made available on the website. However, I am going to tell you that sometimes due to internet difficulties, and depending on how long the sessions are, because they might need to be split into halves and it takes time to upload. Usually when I'm doing the membership portal sessions, it takes actually several days because I'm constantly for several days trying to upload it and it doesn't work, or like, you know, I have to shorten it and then upload it again. So I know the debriefs are going to be long. So we're probably going to have to cut it in half and to have a part 1 and part 2. But essentially, I'm going to really try to get them to you as soon as possible. So my goal, usually what ends up happening after a Zoom session, is that it's recorded. This is recorded right now. And this, I immediately, after it's like done processing, I like go and post it on YouTube and I go and post it on the membership portal. But for you guys, when you're doing the single breath program, it's only going to be posted on the membership portal. So you're going to have access to the membership portal and you can go in there. And this is actually something I didn't mention yet. I think I only mentioned it on WeChat, is that when you're taking the single breath program, in addition, you get the support of me within the membership portal. So our membership portal schedule is every Saturday at noon Beijing time, there's a session. So actually with the Monday lectures and the Sunday debriefs, in addition to that, if there's any emotional challenges that are going to come up, which literally the whole chakras and 7 valleys themes should be bringing up some things for you emotionally, the membership portal stuff is there for you, that there's an additional session that you can come and ask me questions. And I'll be answering specifically the emotional angsts that come up during the program, so that our Monday lectures are focused on the breath. Our Sunday lectures are focused on the debriefs of the practices of the breath. But in addition to that, there may be emotional things that come up for you. You're like, this question really made me think about this and it's just like agitating me and I don't know how to get out of it. That the membership portal Zoom sessions, live, just like this, are going to be made available for you. So you can access all of the single breath program information in the single breath program location on the membership portal. And then you can also access all of the emotional, therapeutic sort of needs that may come up throughout in addition to that. So you're really well covered in terms of all of the aspects of your possible needs that could come up during the 12-week growth program. Yes, Mother.
You mean whoever signed this single breath program is going to get 3 months free membership?
Yes.
Okay.
And so if you're already a member and you have a discount, means you get to keep that discount code is held on hold for you for 3 months. And then after the single breath program ends, you still get to keep your discount code. and continue with the discount, because the discount is essentially that the exception is that you have to have a continuous membership. And so you get to keep it. It's just a pause. The single breath program will just be a pause in whatever current payment plan that you're on. You will just be paying the single breath program. And then afterwards, you just resume with your membership payment programs. And for those who are new to the single breath program, at the end, there will likely be, if you wanted to continue to be on the membership portal and to receive support and to just continue the consolidation of the single breath program, that's also like an avenue of where you can continue practicing and asking questions. Because then our membership portal sessions are going to be dedicated to that. So in our membership portal, we also invite one guest lecture speaker per month. And that session, you're also welcome to come. So in a month of the single breath program, like you have the single breath program each week, we have the lectures and things like that. But then also add whatever is in the single breath program to that. The Saturday, twice, we have a live Q&A session with Nahal. And then one of those sessions, we go live 3 times a month. 2 of those are live Q&A sessions with Nahal. This is where I can emotionally help you. And then we have 1 live session with a guest lecture speaker. And all of this, you'll be getting the information in the newsletter. You'll be getting the information by email. So you will be well informed of all of these things. You don't have to remember all of these details. It's just when it happens, just to remember on a Monday and Sunday, same exact time, 7 to 8 p.m. Beijing time, is our single breath program times. And in addition, you have a Saturday at noon. In case other emotional things come up, you can also just show up live in the membership portals and just hear what are the other things that other people are going through. So that's a place where you can either submit a question to me anonymously and I will just answer the question. And usually I like people to show up in person so that they can ask me any follow-up questions, or if I answer their question correctly according to what they really needed to know. But it's also something that you could just send to me anonymously and be like, Nahal, I have this question, and I will tell you where I will be answering it. So either the membership portal emotional sessions or in the single breath program debriefs session. I really need to write a re-summary of the single breath program, a blog. And so in that blog, all of these things will be clarified. So definitely watch out for that. Make sure you are on our newsletter and make sure you're just following us on all of our socials. On Instagram, if you're outside of China, and if you're inside of China, on WeChat. But the newsletter is the best place because everything will be shared in the newsletter. So did anyone else have any other questions? We have about 4 minutes. I want to make sure that everyone had a chance to speak if they wanted to.
Will you be offering this again sometime in the future?
Yes.
Because currently with the time change difference,
Mm-hmm.
the likelihood of me being up ready at 5 in the morning is unlikely.
Yeah. I will be providing this program hopefully 2 other times this year before I start my PhD. But literally, I will say do not wait for several reasons. One is that at any point in time, something could change that I either am taken away to do this program extensively with a local group that I don't have time to do it online anymore, or the thing is that definitely when I start my PhD, I will not have the time. I don't think I will have the time to do it live again. So this year is really where my focus is, doing it live. But this program is already available online. The Pure Breath program is available online for purchasing, that you could do it yourself. But doing it live together with other people, being in a buddy system, having the 7 valleys and us all doing it together, woo, this is like a lot of energy and a lot of power. And you would not want to miss out on that. Number one, it's like gonna be the thing that's gonna carry you forward for 12 weeks. We're gonna need each other. We're gonna need to hold each other's hands for this, okay? Because this is gonna be a deep dive, deep dive. So we're really gonna need to like be together with that. And something that someone else mentioned to me that I did not actually factor into is that this season of the single breath program is actually sandwiched during the Baha'i fast, which starts actually, when I was calculating the time, the 3rd week when we actually start the 7 values topic is like literally the 1st week of the fast. And I'm going to tell you, you definitely want to do the breath practices during the fast. Definitely want to do it. And I will share with you my experience that when I do my breath practices during the fast, there is nothing sweeter, literally nothing sweeter, because my body is being cleansed. My body is literally being cleansed. And so breath is able to circulate more smoothly and it flows in a very distinct way. And I want you to be in the program for 2 to 3 weeks prior to the fast so that you experience it. When that literal click of the fast hits, you notice that your body is going through a change, that your breath practices also feel different. So this is a very unique first session, but period of time where, oh my gosh, there's a sweetness to doing this program during this period of time. So definitely, personal recommendation is you want to do it during the fast. And every year, if I do this program, it will only be that one time where you can actually combine the effects of the single breath and the Baha'i fast. Everyone knows I've been doing things for the Baha'i fast for the past 5 years. So people know, Nahal, to always do something during the Baha'i fast. But if they're smart and they also caught on with the timing of the single breath program and when it's going to be, oh my gosh, this program is going to be, I definitely, there's nothing I can offer this year during the Baha'i fast exclusively other than this program. And this program is by far, of the 5 years of all of the podcasts I've created, all of the meditations I've created, which you can find on YouTube, you can find on my Instagram, you can find on Facebook Live, you can find on the Bicentenary Meditation Project Facebook page. That's where all of the almost 5 years of activities that have been done for the Baha'i fast are there. But the single breath program is by far the most systematic and consistent program that I'll be offering during the fast, but it will be sandwiched literally midpoint of the Baha'i fast. So it's very special in that sense. And I did not factor it in myself personally. It was only someone who has already signed up for the single breath program that they were like, oh my God, I'm so excited to do that during the Baha'i fast. And I'm like, oh wait, I really need to talk about how amazing that's actually going to be, because it really is so special to do the breath practices during the Baha'i fast, because the fast is already a time for you to expedite your spiritual growth. And if you have a systematic program already in place to kind of jet you forward, why not? Why not? So you're going to have to wake up at 5 a.m. anyways during the Baha'i fast. So it's just practice 3 weeks beforehand to get up. So it's getting your body in a rhythm so that when you wake up for the fast, it's not even a shock to your system. So you're welcome is really what I'm saying. But yeah, these are just my thoughts.
Actually, you mentioned very beautiful point about fasting, because that is the time you can see the effect really good.
Yes.
Spiritually, physically,
Yes.
you know.
But the thing is that also not everyone who's going to be doing the single breath program is going to be fasting. But for those who are fasting, you guys sharing your experience might be encouraging to other people to also perhaps observe a fast to notice the effects of it. So this is actually like, in terms of a community, it's very, very powerful to be together during this time. And I most look forward to just being with you guys during this 12 weeks, but especially during the Baha'i fast. Like, guys, we're just gonna be so high. We're gonna be so spiritually high. It's like not even funny. So let's just be high together. Like, why be high alone? Yeah. I really can't wait. I really can't wait. Like, I know it's a point that I didn't personally think about, but now that I think about it, I'm like, woo, we have no idea how amazing it's gonna be. Ugh. My heart's feeling it. My heart's feeling it. Anyways, so along those lines, if you know of someone who wants to capitalize their Baha'i fast times, at least for the past 5 years that I've been doing things for the Baha'i fast, I have increasingly had a lot of people who are very interested in really maximizing this time. Please make sure to share with them this program, that there's something actually out there. If you really want to go deep, you can actually start before the fast and actually continue after the fast. That it's like really gonna like be a program that's gonna deepen that. So this might be something that, please do share it with other people, because if I am someone who wants to always capitalize on this period of spiritual growth. Like, this is already like the slogan for the single breath program is a breath away to lightning growth. Lightning growth. If you add the fasting on top of that, like, it's like a rocket. Like, you know, I don't know what's faster than lightning or a rocket, you know, like, it's just like, it's going to be so fast. So like, why not? But it's definitely has to be someone who's there, you know, who really wants to speed up or amplify or extend, like go through this expansion. Then this would be super helpful. Some people are not ready. And for those who are not ready, don't just share with them in case they're interested, but don't push it, because not everyone is ready for this type of speed of growth. But it's for those who have been trying and just haven't felt like they've gotten anywhere. Doing this program in this way with other people, with a collective, with peers, with an accountability partner, all of it is just going to like shoot you forward. Yeah. There's one other thing, a question that someone asked me the other day was like, oh my God, Nahal, there's so much homework. They're like, I calculated your thing. And actually on the blog, I'm very clear on exactly how many hours you need to dedicate to this program. And it's 9. So it's like with the hour of lecture and with every day, the practice that you need to do is about 55 minutes long. So, and then the debriefs is another hour. Total that it's about 9 hours of dedication in a week that you would need to dedicate for this program. So it's not also, you do have to consider the other factors. But this is a question that came up that I thought was very interesting. They were like saying that, oh my God, it's going to be so much work and all these things. And I'm like, you're not factoring into the ease that these practices are going to give to your life. Like, you know, they were like complaining to me like, Nahal, I'm not going to have all this time to do all these things. I'm like, yeah, it's 55 minutes, but it's not all in one chunk. It's 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night. And you can start with 10 minutes if you're really like resistant to it. But know that actually they're spread out in sprinkles throughout the day. So it's not going to seem like that much. 1. 2 is that you're not factoring into how these reflection practices are actually going to augment and expedite and make more efficient your day. Like, this is an aspect that because you haven't started doing it, it's hard to factor into. So you might look at this as like a giant block to be like, wow, this is like a lot of work. But the reflection practices are the purpose of it is to actually ease your day, make more efficient your day by, like, in the reflection practices, there's so much that will just come out that you will be so creative, and things that took you like a lot longer to do before, you're actually streamlining and allowing it to come out into like different tasks. Like, these are also things that I will talk about in the sessions. So yeah, these are aspects to like really reflect and think about when it comes to these things. It's to remember that the reflection practices are actually to help your day, but it's difficult to kind of see that before you start the program. So it's a level of faith that you kind of have to have in the program to know that even though there is much required of you in terms of dedication, still there, the practices themselves are actually there to help you out, not to take away from you. But you just have to have foresight in that and faith in the program that that's what it's going to do. So yeah.
Thank you.
Sounds great. All right. Hopefully this was helpful, and I'll be reposting this on YouTube for anyone, if you would like to share it with other people that you think would be interested or you think would be helpful. Like, you can share them this link, and I'll be sending this in the newsletter, in all the places that we have our Yoga Avec Moi things. And then on YouTube, all of the details is going to be in the description below, so you can definitely check that out. All right, great. So we'll end here, and I will see you next week. On the membership portal is Integration Week, but the week after that, we're going to have, hopefully, we'll see what we have. It's going to be Chinese New Year, so I will inform you on when the next session is going to be. All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.